My name is Anthony Salvagno. I'm a PhD student at the University of New Mexico, and I work in Dr. Steve Cook's lab, also cleverly known as the KochLab. The lab is focusing on practicing open notebook science, and I've made it my personal quest to integrate as much as the internet has to offer into my notebook to make our science easily accessible and understandable to anyone in the world. When I first joined the lab, we adopted OpenWetWare.org and have been using them ever since. OpenWetWare, or OWW, uses MediaWiki as their engine, which means it works very much like Wikipedia. In fact, almost everything you can do on Wikipedia can be done on OWW. The exception is that only members can edit the OpenWetWare wiki. Founding members have created some scripts that allow users to create notebooks for their everyday lab use. I'm going to show you my customized notebook and how I integrate other web apps into my notebook. This is the front page of my notebook. Right here is a calendar that enables me to navigate to specific dates. I can also quickly create new entries from here by clicking the dates I want to create an entry on. Dates with entries are highlighted and the current date is also marked. I can also search for anything in my notebook via the search bar. I can't always remember how I wrote entries, so I created an alternative method of navigation, which I entered via my quick navigation bar. This bar features the 3 links that I frequent the most in all of my notebook. I make sure that I categorize every page I create, and here I list all those categories using dynamic page listing. This allows me to sort using a number of parameters, and here I have it sort only my notebook pages with the specific category and by date order. This page is a list of every single page ever created in my notebook, also created with dynamic page listing. Here it is sorted just by date, so newer entries appear on the top like an RSS feed. Sometimes I can't remember exactly where a page is categorized, or I didn't make a category at all, but I'll remember a date or a title, and this helps me to locate it. You may have noticed that some pages are just dates, and others have a title after the date. When I create a new notebook entry, let me just go back for a second. When I create a new notebook entry, I am taken to a generic notebook entry page, like this one, and it gets listed as just a page with a date. I then create a titled subpage to help me identify what may be written on that day. Some days I also may have more than one task going on in different categories, and I will make separate pages pertaining to those tasks. Recently, we've been working on a simple construction for an enclosure around our optical tweezers. I took some pictures and uploaded them to Picasa and embedded them in my notebook as a slideshow. OpenWetWare does have the capability to input images into pages, but I find it a little cumbersome, and my Android phone makes this method much easier since I can share directly to Picasa. The wiki has the power to use any standard CSS code or HTML code, which makes embedding anything on the web very simple. Here's a couple of examples. One is that I frequently use Google Docs to make spreadsheets for protocols, and I embed them in my notebook for live and post viewing. I can upload videos from YouTube and Benchfly and post them in my notebook, just like this one. Sometimes I spend the day making quick notes via FriendFeed or Nevernote, and it is easier to embed that in my notebook in the beginning rather than saving and editing a wiki page all day long. But not everything is embeddable. Sometimes I want to just get a screenshot of a page or go back to a paper later on, and the use of iframes allows me to do that. So on this page, I have a bunch of references to NCBI. I have a blog posting that had a protocol that was useful for me here, and I have a PDF file that had a very useful protocol, and I embedded them all in this page. So as you can see, the use of the OpenWetWare wiki gives me the flexibility to do just about anything without having to develop my own web space. They're always adding new functionality to it as well, so it is constantly improving as a medium. If you want to view my notebook and follow my research, you can search Anthony Salvagno in Google. And my open notebook usually comes up as the first hit. Also, make sure you check out openwetware.org/wiki/KochLab, which you can find here, to read about the rest of KochLab. KochLab, science that sizzles.